We are previewing Week 7 in the NFL here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. Right now we're going to talk about the Monday Night Football game, the Bears and the Lions. Big game, interesting line, and as always with these Monday Night Football games, we get two expert opinions weighing in, not just one, two. And today we're going to be joined by newcomer Jeff Cadillac from jeffcadillac.com and oldcomer John Ryan from johnryansports.com. Thanks, guys, for being here. Let's start with you, Jeff, because you told me that you do have a lean on this game. Now, the Bears are a 6-point home favorite, so the way this season's been going, I guess your first instinct is to always lean towards the underdog. On the other hand, though, Cutler's always played very well against the Lions. Chicago's always done very well on Monday nights under Coach Smith. There's bad blood between these two teams, so I'm not sure which way you're going to lean here. What do you have to say about this line?
Well, I have to go with Chicago. Detroit has been playing very badly this year. I think Stafford has definitely regressed. The Detroit game against Philly last week, Philly was actually leading by 10 points with about 5 minutes to go, and they self-destructed. Detroit is not usually a good road team. They don't play Chicago very well on the road, and I like Chicago in this game. Chicago's coming off that bye. They had a very nice win against Jacksonville, 41-3. At halftime, it was 3-3, and people didn't know which way it was going to go. But Chicago's defense is very high. They're number 3 in the league. They were number 1 against the rush and number 14 against the pass. And I don't think Detroit's going to cover that spread.
I hear you, Jeff, but just so many people get so nervous when they have to, at the prospect of taking Jay Cutler as a favorite and as a near touchdown favorite. And, in his career, he's not had a good ATS record as a favorite, although, in his career, he's also done very well against Detroit. But that doesn't worry you at all, Jay Cutler as a near touchdown favorite.
No, not at all, because Chicago has beaten the bad teams this year. St. Louis they beat very well on, I think it was Thursday night. They beat them by 17. They also beat Indy by 21. I would characterize Detroit right now as a bad team. Their defense is not playing. Sue has been like invisible this year. They've regressed from last year. Matthew Stafford's not having the same kind of game, same kind of year. And if Jay Cutler, he's got Matt Forte in the backfield, he's got Michael Bush. It seems like his wide receiver, Brandon Marshall, they're really connecting. Chicago, 4-1 straight up and 4-1 against the spread. I like them at home because they do play very well at home. They're 2-0 straight up and 2-0 against the spread.
All right, let's go to John Ryan, see what he has to say. John, Jeff Cadillac, one of the coolest names in the business, actually likes Chicago, minus 6 points here on Monday night. What do you, John Ryan, one of the most boring names in the business, what do you have to say about this game?
Well, it's a good Irish name, first of all. But anyway, I'm going to join the party here and take the Bears. And I know we discussed the controversies with Cutler and his poor performance against the spread, and the fact that you can't trust him. The one thing you can trust on the Bears this year is their defense. And I like to look at yards per point as a measure of defensive and offensive efficiency. The Chicago Bears rank first in the NFL with a ratio of 20.5 yards per point. What that means is it takes the opponents they've played 20.5 yards to put 1 point on the scoreboard on average. That's an incredibly good number. Those are numbers that usually end up leading the league in the NFL in past seasons, going back the last 10 years. And anything over 18 is an exceptional defense. By comparison, you have Detroit, who is coming off a miraculous win thanks to Andy Reid and the Philadelphia Eagles coaching staff. Brings up a whole nother topic I won't get into, but Detroit ranks 31st of the 32 teams in this defensive category of yards per point allowed at 11.8. So there is a great disparity between the two defensive units. Detroit can't stop anybody. And you can't even look at the Eagles game as a defense that played well against the Eagles. It was more Andy Reid getting so conservative that he had to fire his defensive coordinator to justify it. But anyway, the Detroit number versus the Chicago number, I think the defenses are gonna be the difference in the game. And Chicago will be able to control the line of scrimmage, get penetration on the quarterback, and do what they've been doing all year. In the year of this season, we have 11 teams out of 32 with 3-3 records. Chicago is not one of them, and they are a winning record team and a very solid team led by a very strong defensive unit. So I don't put them in that class of parity, and they're actually breaking away from the the mediocre type games that we see from week to week. So I like the Bears quite a bit on Monday.
Okay, good. Let me just do my outro now. Okay, all right. Okay. All right, there you have it, folks. Consensus on the Bears, -6, going against the very strong NFC underdog trend of ATS covers that we have seen this year. We'll see how it turns out. Thanks, guys.